For 70 long years, the world witnessed how Queen Elizabeth II ruled over 32 independent countries. The Queen was the second monarch in history to rule the longest. She was 2 years behind Louis XIV of France, who served for 72 years. For such a long time, it is undeniable that the Queen indeed left the world with such an iconic legacy. For one, she did a certain thing that no monarch has ever done before, which we will talk about later. You better stay tuned. And another bizarre feature of the Queen that is also worth mentioning is her humor. The Queen lived a wealthy and productive life for 96 years. Since we are done talking about her riches, including her mansions and jewels, let us proceed to the Queen's iconic legacy. So, I welcome you to Class Act Luxury Channel, where we will be talking about the world's most luxurious things. This is your luxury girl for all seasons, and today we will talk about the 10 reasons why Queen Elizabeth II is considered a Shero. If you wish to delve into the world of luxury, hit the subscribe button so we can keep you updated with more of our videos. Let's begin. Number 10. The Royal Corgis. It is public knowledge that the Queen had a lot of corgis under her care. I mean, just look at how adorbs they are. I guess the corgis do really have a charm that levels to royalty. Ever since the Queen was a kid, she has been fond of corgis. And in 1944, on her 18th birthday, the young Queen Elizabeth was gifted by the King a corgi puppy whose registered name is Hickathrift Pipa, but later on will be called Susan. Susan lived for almost 15 years, and her death brought so much dread to the Queen. This loss never meant forever goodbye to the Queen's extreme adoration for Pembroke Welsh Corgis, because for the next 6 decades, the Queen became a certified fur mommy to over 30 descendants of Susan. Number 9. The Royal Photo Bomber. Under @_Jade Taylor on Twitter, you will see the iconic photo bombing of the Queen in a selfie taken by two members of the Australian women's hockey team. This funny encounter happened in 2014 during the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The two were just amazed at how funny the Queen could be, especially when they realized that she was smiling in the photo as if she meant to be included. As a matter of fact, this is not the first time Queen Elizabeth photobombed in a frame. It first happened in 2013 when the Queen had an impromptu appearance on BBC News Channel. I guess this is just another way of conveying the message that the Queen is and will always be included. Number 8. The Queen and James Bond. In 2012, the Queen made a short skit with the famous Daniel Craig, also known as James Bond, together with Paddington Bear, the famous blue raincoat-clad Teddy. It was for the opening ceremony of the Summer Olympics in London, where she would go parachuting on her way to the Olympic Stadium. This iconic pop culture appearance of the Queen remained to be one of the most unforgettable things she had done. This stunt of hers was kept secret even to her fellow royals because the Queen wanted it to be a surprise, so she agreed to be a part of the shooting as long as the shooting would be kept under the radar, and it paid off. Well, obviously, the part where the Queen jumped with the parachute is done by her double, but the scene where she and Craig shared a few conversations is real. Number 7. Driving a car and riding a horse. Being royalty comes with the perk of having a chauffeur for your entire life. But I guess our homegirl Liz just misses the feeling of being in control of the wheels, instead of sitting prettily at the back of her car and waving to her people. There are a couple of times the Queen was seen publicly driving her expensive cars. In fact, in 1998, she took Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah for a drive, which, by the way, is a manifestation of the traditional barrier between the two, since Saudi Arabia has had this law that prohibits women to drive since 1957. What a baddie she is. The latest was on July 2, 2021, when she drove her Range Rover on her way to the Royal Windsor Horse Show. It is worth mentioning that the Queen doesn't need a passport or a driver's license to travel. Like, hello, those documents are signed under her name, so it's pretty useless to have her one at this point. Anyway, speaking of horses, the Queen loved riding horses since she was young. I guess it's just a royal thing, the love for horses. The Queen has been occasionally spotted riding one of her ponies on a normal afternoon despite her age. The most recent time she was spotted in one was just this year, according to those who saw her at Windsor Castle. Number 6. Queen's shooting skills. Being a queen isn't synonymous with being weak at heart, who's all about fancy tea parties and everything nice. When the queen was in her early teenage years, she was taught many things, like how to be a queen, of course. She was prepared at a young age because of the responsibility that her future holds for her. Part of her preparation involves firing. At the age of 14, she started practicing with a Tommy gun, given by Winston Churchill together with her family. They do it very often in the gardens at Buckingham Palace. So in 1993, when she was handed a standard SAAT rifle to shoot the last shot at an Army Rifle Association event, she did not miss. Number 5. Her humor. She is one of a kind monarch, that is true. She drives, she rides a horse, she shoots, watch out for your leg, she poses for a selfie, and she jokes. To be fair, I really do find Golden Agers humorous most of the time. It's just that seeing the Queen herself crack some jokes and pull off sarcasm somehow breaks the impression of her being a nonchalant royal. A great example is when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau toasted the Queen and said that he is the 12th Canadian Prime Minister during her reign. In response, the Queen said, "Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister of Canada, for making me feel so old." Another exhibition of her great sense of humor was when she pulled off "Perhaps They Want Me Dead" to Jacob McVicker in the 2016 Chelsea Flower Show. It was the time when McVicker told her that the lily of the valley flowers had been used as a poison in early times, and the Queen claimed that she's been receiving it twice for the week. What a queen she is! Number 4. Tech-savvy Queen. What year did you have your first computer? Or at least, when was the time you learned how to send an email? In March 1976, Queen Elizabeth sent her first email at the Royal Signals and Radar establishments in Malvern, England. Behind this historically significant event is Peter Kirsten, who made her a personal email account of HME2. The email was sent to the moon through the Apollo 11 landing, relaying the message, "On behalf of the British people, I salute the skill and courage which have brought men to the moon. May this endeavor increase the knowledge and well-being of mankind." Number 3. Queen's high tolerance in alcohol. The Queen enjoys normal stuff as much as we do. I think I have proven that in this list so far. Apparently, she also enjoyed alcohol according to some. There was even a rumor that claims that she drinks 4 alcoholic beverages a day, but that was denied by her former chef, Darren McGrady. Well, yes, the Queen drinks occasionally. Her favorite drinks were Dubonnet and gin. Number 2. Her bravery. Being a royalty will subject you to threats 24/7. That is why the security of the palace should be at its 100%. But I guess 100% is really non-existent. One time in 1982, Michael Fagan broke into Buckingham Palace. This incident brought Britain's security to shame. Fagan was drunk that night before the incident happened. According to him, he wandered around the palace and even triggered the alarms twice before he found the Queen's room in the residential wing. This scandal will remain one of the unforgettable, horrific experiences for the Queen. Because imagine yourself waking up from a deep sleep only to see a man with blood staring right at you. By the way, folks, the blood is from his own wound because he cut himself with a broken ashtray he also stole from the palace, trying to cut the pigeon netting at the palace's roof. Number 1. Princess at War. Now this gotta be at the top of our list. World War II began when Queen Elizabeth, at that time Princess Elizabeth, was just 13 years old. After turning 18 in 1944, the princess initiated joining the Auxiliary Territorial Service Women's Branch. King George was worried at first, knowing full well that his heir would join the service. But in the end, he had no choice but to support the future queen's plans for welfare. In 1945, she began training as a military mechanic and learned to drive at Aldershot. Not just that, she also drove military ambulances. This heroic act of the Queen will forever remain in history. Let us know in the comments section what among these truly made a mark for you. And that's it, another video about the world's luxurious things. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching and see ya in our next video. Ciao!